Meet Jivant, a project manager at Acme Inc. Jivant is a hardworking IT employee who's got 8 years of work experience, and he's currently drawing a salary of 10 lakh per annum, which is a pretty decent salary. But Jivant doesn't look very happy. What's wrong? Well, Jivant is sad because he's come to know that Tavishi, who's another project manager from Acme, is drawing a salary of 20 lakh per annum. Tavish is earning exactly double the amount that Jivant is getting, despite having the same job role and the exact same years of work experience. Jivant has got all the rights in the world to be devastated and feel that his company is not valuing him the way it is doing for other employees. Well, the truth is that Jivant is not alone. Hundreds of folks like Jivant every single day are encountering concerns like their pay scale and their salaries are not at par with candidates who have similar kind of experience on the same job roles. While this may seem unfair and injustice to a lot of the employees, the reality is very different. Unlike the government jobs, in corporate, there is no rule of thumb that can strictly enforce the parity of pay scale across employees despite having same job role and similar kind of work experience. While there are speculations available that your salary is always 1.5x, 2x, or 3x of your work experience, the actual calculation of salary is far more complex. There are various factors and variables that are taken into account by a company before determining the salary of an employee. Hi, my name is Soumyadip. As a product manager, I am passionate about building AI-powered enterprise workflows and platform products. In this conversation, I'm going to talk about the different factors undertaken by the companies while determining your salaries. Well, broadly, there are three factors that determine your salary in the IT industry. And those are experience, expertise, and environment. In the advent of technology and digital transformation, IT professionals have more career options than anybody else. You could be part of the engineering team as a front end, back end, full stack, or QA engineer. You could be working on the infrastructure side as a cloud, DevOps, SRE, hosting, network, or security engineer. Or you could be working in a functional role as a business analyst, a project manager, or a product manager. So the kind of domain, the kind of role that you have got your experience upon will play a significant influence on your structure of salary. The number of relevant years of work experience and the number of companies you have switched are also very crucial factors that determine your salary. Imagine you are a software engineer with 5 years of work experience. However, out of your 5 years of work X, you have got core software engineering experience of only 2 years. In this scenario, you are likely to get a lesser salary compared to another candidate who may have 5 years of core software development background. In a similar fashion, if you have worked for one single company throughout these 5 years, then there is a high possibility that another candidate who has changed 2 or 3 companies within the course of same 5 years will be drawing a much higher salary than you. The second most important factor is your level of expertise. Remember, your work experience alone cannot win you a marvelous salary. As you grow old in the system, as you acquire more experience, you need to become better at your craft. You really need to become an expert, and only then companies will be happy to throw more money at you. Therefore, it's extremely important that you are able to articulate well at the time of interview that what kind of values you can bring into the table. Otherwise, candidates who are able to do that better than you will end up drawing more salary. More often than not, the kind of academic credentials that you own will have a heavy weightage in defining your level of expertise, be it the kind of degree that you have, undergrads or master, or the kind of institute from which you have received your degree will play a critical role. For example, if you have received your undergrads or postgrads degree from a premier institute like IITs, NITs, or IIMs, then chances are high that you will be drawing a much higher salary compared to a lot of other candidates who are working in the same role with the same type of work experience. Another very common factor in the IT industry is having industry recognized certifications. These certifications mean that you have acquired a significant amount of demonstrable professional skills. But it's very important for you to choose the most appropriate certification given the kind of job role or skills you have. For instance, if you are working as, let's say, a cloud technology professional, then it will be imperative for you to undergo a professional cloud certification from one of the leading cloud vendors such as AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud. And the final factor that draws a significant influence in your salary is the kind of work environment you belong to. In IT industry, there are various types of companies who can offer you job. Now, these companies broadly can be categorized in 4 categories. The first one is all the elite group product companies. In this category, you have companies like Google, Amazon, Netflix, Microsoft, and so on. Then you have the leading investment banks and technology consulting firms such as McKinsey, BCG, Goldman Sachs of the world. Then comes the startups and the unicorns. These companies would be Paytm, Swiggy, Zomato, so on and so forth. And finally, you have the service-based companies such as Wipro, TCS, and Infosys. All these companies have got their very specific benchmarks as to what kind of pay scale to be defined for different job roles and for different years of experience of the candidate. So if you are working in one of the service-based companies such as Wipro or Infosys or TCS in the capacity of a project manager with, let's say, 10 to 12 years of experience, then the kind of salary you will draw will be very, very different from a candidate who is working as a project manager in one of the product-based companies or consulting firms like McKinsey or Google. Your job location is also a very important factor in defining your salary. While since COVID hit us, a lot of companies have stopped following this practice. But even today, you cannot deny the fact that there are a lot of companies who pay slightly higher salary to employees who are working from cities like Bangalore or Hyderabad in comparison to employees who are working in the same role, but from different cities like Kolkata, Noida, or Pune. Another very important factor to understand is the demand and the supply ecosystem. Over the last few decades, IT industry has gone through massive transformation. Each of these transformations have created huge demand for technology professionals on certain arena. So if you have secured a job at a time frame when there was a high demand and less supply for skilled professional on a specific technology, then the probability of you getting a higher salary is a lot more as compared to a time when there are more supply of skilled resources or the demand for the technology has started subsiding. If I take you back to the mid 2000, this was the time when companies started realizing the value of ERP solutions. So companies wanted to manage their resources better. Therefore, they rapidly started implementing ERP solutions in their ecosystem. Now, at that point in time, the supply for skilled ERP technology professionals were not very much. Therefore, candidates who were able to secure a job back then as Oracle or SAP developers or architects have got sky-high salaries. On the other hand, if you look at the today's landscape, while there is still demand for Oracle and SAP ERP professionals, the supply of skilled professional is way more. And also there are lots of other technology alternatives for the companies. And therefore, candidates with the same skill set are not paid as competitively as they were paid back in 2000. Now that you understand the various nuances that define your salary, you will be able to better appreciate that why the much higher salary of the Vichy is well justified. For starters, the Vichy has got a much stronger academic background and professional certification compared to Jivant. The Vichy is also working for a domain that is much higher in demand as compared to what Jivant is into. In addition, the Vichy has worked with 3 different companies and she has got relevant project management experience throughout the course of our journey. On the other hand, Jivant has worked with one company wherein for the first 6 years, he has been in a completely different role and he has got relevant project management experience only for 2 years. That sums it all. I hope the insights gained from this conversation are helpful to you. This is Soumyadip signing off until next time.